Okay, MB Moose Lover here with another video, another grouse video, and I just want to start this by saying that white-tailed deer and ruffed grouse inhabit the same, areas, and they have a lot in common. And one thing that they share is a great ability to stand still and wait and listen for danger, and it translates to great patience, and that's why the title of this is Masters of Patience, the Ruffed Grouse, and deer will basically stand still and listen and take a few steps and then do the same thing and just keep repeating that, when they're traveling through the woods, so that they can listen and hear something coming, and then they move and then they stop again. And grouse do the same thing. And you can see that this grouse here is alert, and he's listening, and he's got his feathers up on the top of his head there, raised up, and which means he's really just knows something's up, and he's just waiting for whatever it is, the danger, to expose itself. And now you'll see that the video here is shaking, and that's because I've sped it up here because I wanted to show how long this grouse actually stays at attention here and doesn't hardly move. And so I sped it up, and so he or she was basically in that position and didn't barely move for 10 minutes. A full 10 minutes, and like I said, I sped it up here just so the video wouldn't be too long, because I didn't want to just say, well, you stood there for 10 minutes. But I sped it up, and now he's just took a step there, so the 10 minutes has passed, and then now and even then he's moving very slowly, and and the whole thing is patience. They have tremendous discipline to just stay still, and whether it's just sitting there and huddling and staying low, or it's at attention, one or the other, and so anyway, he's starting to move here, and then he's going to go down the hill here, and now I've filmed this. This was filmed, I think, out through a window, and I had to lighten it a bit because it was late in the evening, or getting later in the evening, and so I haven't had too many opportunities when I can get outside and film them, because it's just hard to not spook them, and it's been so wicked cold as well. It's hard on the camera, and it's just the only way I can kind of get the footage the best way for now, and I'm hoping to get some better stuff later, but I don't like to miss it. I like to get as much as I can and improve the video as much as I can. And so he was in there feeding in the eatery, and this is where he's basically done feeding for the night, and he's just going to sit here for a bit and sit there patiently again for a while. And what these grouse will do, a lot of times in the evenings, they'll come in, they'll eat a bunch of sunflower seed, and then they'll just come outside of the eatery and just sit there like this and just puff out their breast, in which they do that so that they actually can, they have like air pockets around their feathers that keep them warm, and they can kind of puff out the skin that's on their breast, and it will actually make the feathers kind of hold air in between them, and it acts like an insulating layer to keep them warm, and that's why they'll sit there and kind of puff out and sit their lower feathers down over their feet, so keep their feet warm. and they can sit there. Like I said, they're masters of patience, because they can just sit there so so still when they want to, and then when they usually go to move, they move pretty quick. They can run real fast, and they can fly like they're masters of the air as well. They can really maneuver through the woods, dodging and darting, and going around trees, and they're quite fascinating birds. And he's sitting there. I was just trying to get as much of the footage as I could here, and then we've actually had some really severely cold weather since I filmed this. This wasn't too bad at the time then. Now look at him. He's like he's on a record player turntable. He's like turning around there, and he's getting ready to move. He's looking for a place to get up and spend the night. And sometimes they'll come back to the eatery and eat again, and I don't think he did this night. I think that was pretty well it. He's just going to take his time here, and he's going to go over to the thicket here that's behind the eatery, and you're going to see him fly up into the trees to find a roost for the night. And there's a gray squirrel going berserk. They're always competing for the seed. The squirrel's pretty worked up. He's like, they like to claim all the seed for themselves. They're quite competitive and aggressive. And it's getting darker here in the evening, and we had some snowy weather here one night when it was really, really windy that I filmed the grouse, and then right now here, this is we're just into March here now, and it's just been really wicked cold, and no grouse come in this morning. There was, I think, one that came in last night. One, I think, is all I had last night, and the deer were coming in. I had to keep scaring them away just so that the grouse could actually get a chance to eat. And glad to get some there because it was really cold, and I don't know where the other two are. Hopefully they got up in a tree and budded, or got some buds, something to give them some sustenance to get through the night. And now the grosbeaks have been around this morning in full, about 50 of them, and they're so nervous they just keep flying, and they'll come in to eat and then fly, and they are getting quite a bit of seed this morning because they keep at it. They just keep kind of coming back. And then the turkeys came in and kind of spooked them. I had to kind of spook the turkeys because I got everything competing here, so that the grouse, the turkeys, different days there, they were running in through the woods here, and the partridge were ahead of them. I could see the grouse running, trying to get away from the turkeys because they just kept coming in, and every time you'd see a partridge running left and right just trying to get away from the turkeys. And so I'm working on a platform to feed these grouse about 6 feet up in the air just to the left of this eatery here, a picnic table, and just in the woods here, right where that grouse is about now. And I'm making a platform for them to get up, and hopefully they'll eat off that platform that other animals can't reach. But now this grouse is looking for a place to sleep, and he's right there. He wants to go back and get some more seed. But see, here this squirrel is keeping him away. That's what I'm dealing with, this constant competitive thing where the grouse are nervous, and sometimes these squirrels can get aggressive, and they'll make advance rushes on the grouse and scare it, and then or just kind of stand their ground and get agitated, and then the grouse says, well, that's enough of that, and then just leave. It's frustrating because I like to see them get, and that's what I had this for, was their own little refuge. But anyway, he's going to, and there he jumped down, and I didn't see where he went, and I'm thinking, where'd you go? He had jumped down, and he got down over that little lip of snow is what it was. I'm going to go back here, and he's going to be over to the left, right here. And over here to the left, and there he is. He was coming back, and it's getting darker. And he's like, okay, I've had enough seed. I'm going to fly up here and find a place to sleep. So he's just going to go whoop and right up in. Just there he goes, just right up in there, and then get situated. And they're on a limb where he can spend the night. So later, I'll be much lover.